Wuthering Waves legitimately looks so good that players are genuinely wondering whether or not this could be the game to dethrone Genshin Impact. And I do not throw that term around loosely, because this is not your typical Genshin killer, where players compare a game with aesthetic similarities to Genshin Impact. This is a game that takes what Punishing Gray Raven has done right, its gameplay, and then employs it in a large open world setting. Before we go any further though, I do want to give a quick shout out to all of our patrons over on Patreon. While this channel is technically monetized due to the nature of a lot of the content, Patreon allows for me to at least make something off of these videos, so kudos guys, you guys rock. So, a test phase was held recently for Wuthering Waves. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Every person and their mother, even their grandmother, has been discussing it, and for good reason. So many gacha games are announced every year, and many of them actually turn out to be quite fun games. Artery Gear Fusion, Counterside, Reverse 1999, Project Snow, Ether Gazer, and while they're all great games in their own right, there are certain titles out there that just dominate the gacha scene because they're of a higher caliber. Games like Honkai Impact 3rd, Punishing Gray Raven, Uma Musume, Heaven Burns Red, Azure Lane, Arknights, Blue Archive, and most notably, Genshin Impact, which redefined how gacha games were developed and brought about the term the Genshin clone. It was thanks to Genshin, actually, that gacha games became much more mainstream. Wuthering Waves is the latest anime RPG from Kuro Games, the developers of Punishing Gray Raven. Initially, players approached this with hesitation. Punishing Gray Raven, let's be real here, it did not release in prime form. It had a lot of issues that almost ruined the reputation of the game and the company that was developing it. But anticipation has been growing. The first full trailer released, and players could no longer contain their excitement for it. And I mean, let's be real, how could you when your game looks as good as this does? Then they held their first limited beta test, which took place over the last couple days, and players were overjoyed to see how complete that it looked and felt. This didn't look and feel like Genshin Impact though. This looks and feels like something better. Sure, you could make the argument here that it's an anime RPG set in an open world, but you know what, that's about as far as similarities go. Genshin looks vibrant, it's lighthearted. Wuthering Waves is dark and saturated, and it feels dark. Cutscenes are completely different, animations are so much more fluid. Everything about Wuthering Waves has left players in absolute shock. We all thought that this game was going to look good, but this is actually beyond our wildest expectations. And the fact that it has a non-intrusive, non-cluttered UI on PC, hell yes. Now, if Wuthering Waves has you excited to play something new, then I urge you to go ahead and try one of these games out, or prepare yourself for every confirmed gacha game slated to release this year in 2022 while waiting for Wuthering Waves to release.